There's no secret techniques in any of what I've done today. It's quite simply the only thing that you need is confidence in yourself. And really, if you've got that confidence in your own abilities, then there's nothing that you can't achieve model-wise. A big hello to you. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jennifer Kirk and I hope I find you well. And today we're going to be doing a project build, and what I've got in mind is I want a small, easily portable diorama that I can take outdoors and get some really good photographs of things like models. And this is something that I've had in mind for a good long time, and certainly when we took Myneth Tatis out to the moors, we got some amazing photographs, and you really cannot underestimate the power of just natural sunlight to make anything look amazing. So with this, what I wanted was a standard gauge version, and it's essentially just a scrap piece of wood that I had lying around, and on top of that I built an embankment and I laid some of the DCC Concepts legacy bullhead track work that we reviewed in a video a couple of weeks ago, and I thought it was an ideal opportunity to make use of some of that. And I've also used some of the West Hill Wagon Works bridge girders. Now these are some 3D printed products that they sent over, and I've just been looking for a project to do these justice, and this was perfect for this particular product. Coupled with the Pico Vari girders and some Warworld Scenics walling, I was able to make up a nice little underpass bridge, a kind of cattle creep, that just gives something more than just a bare embankment. The rest of the scenery is Warworld Scenics static grass and also Warworld Scenics ballast, and I used some deluxe materials, ballast bond, ready mixed, and actually really impressed with that product as well. But I'm getting ahead of myself, and in this video we're going to be showing you, mostly in the form of time-lapse, the entire construction of this from start to finish. So without further ado, and in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts, find out more and order their full range at the link in the description box down below, tramfabrique.co.uk. Support also comes from TMC, the Model Centre. Check out their comprehensive and fully stocked website at themodelcentre.com. So without further ado, come with me, and I'm really looking forward to showing you from start to finish this full, easy project build that you too can have a go at. We've also got some links in the description box down below that just help you source some of the products used today. For this project, I want something really simple. So I've picked out a piece of scrap wood, and as you can see, it's been used as a base for just painting things, really. And what I've done is the rear side, which is going to be the underside of this, I've painted in a couple of coats of white paint, sanded the edges a little bit, again painted the edges up in the white, but I've left the surface completely clear because I want a good adherence of the glue to this. And what I'm going to build up on top of this, I want a low embankment, no back scene, nothing to kind of get in the way of a good photographic scene through this, but I need to build it up for that. So first things first, I've got some scrap household insulation. This is Jablite. You hear me talking about it so many times, and I've got a couple of scrap pieces here. And the idea of this is that in conjunction with my hot wire cutter, I'm going to sculpt the base of the embankment out of this and then just build it up. And I've also got some of this foam, which I'm going to use as the actual track bed. Again, I can cut this with a hot wire cutter, and this will be the base that the track is glued to, and in turn we can ballast over the top of this, and that'll give the full height for the track bed. The track itself, I've chosen to use the DCC Concepts supplied legacy track, and I've gone for the bullhead, with its prototypically correct sleeper spacing, the Code 75 rail, and I think that this is going to look really, really good. Now, one length is just slightly longer than the base wood, so I've got a second length here as well that DCC Concepts very kindly sent over, and I've also got those rail joiners. I think it'll be rather nice and visually appealing if I actually cut this into maybe 3 different lengths, join them with the fish plates, just so that it looks prototypically correct. I do want some degree of feature on this. I want to keep it low, but something interesting, and to this end I'm going to be building a bridge using just some of the Pico Varigirder kits, but also West Hill Wagon Works sent over very kindly an assortment of 3D printed items from their range, and one of these is the bridge girders for going into a iron girder bridge, the kind that you see between the tracks on the deck just as part of the support structure. So what I've done with this is I've just quite simply made a base from plasticard, and then I made up 2 of the Varigirder lengths to match up with the length of the West Hill Wagon Works central girder piece, and this all built up really, really easily into quite a good little structure, wide enough for double track. And I'm going to be putting a layer of ballast around the track over this. I'm not bothering with any of the deck beams or anything like that. I just want to keep it fairly simple. The end result is actually pretty good, and it's quite light but still quite strong, and I've painted it with Revel number 68. It just seemed to me to be the appropriate colour from my box of paints, but any enamel type paint would do, and certainly you can pick the colour scheme that is most appropriate to what you want to model. For me, this drab olive just invokes the kind of run-down 1980s railways, and I think it'll be nondescript enough as to not really grab the attention. I'm going to try and have this slightly offset to one end so it doesn't have to feature in photos if I don't want it to, and I'm going to be resting this on a base of these resin walls that came from Warworld Scenics, and it's just a little bit of playing around with these. I've only got 3 of the angles, and in turn I've also got a few little pieces I've kind of cut together, and I'm going to be using these just to make up the 4th corner. So if we just rest all these together, it gives an idea of what the bridge is going to look like, and we'll just build up the embankment to match up to these. And I've also got 4 additional pillars which will just sit. I will glue them in, hide them with a little bit of vegetation. These will just build up the 4 corners. And what I might do as well is just trim some of these walls underneath just to move these pillars a little bit closer together. But you can already see we've got the gist of a low river bridge or stream bridge, which in turn is going to allow the track to cross a water feature, and then the rest of this will just be a plain embankment. The embankment sides, I used the PVA J-cloth method, and that's worked really well. I didn't have any filler, otherwise I'd have given it a quick coat of filler, but it's not really a huge problem. This legacy ballast from DCC Concepts has given me this kind of coarse ground structure. This is all going to get covered with the static grass at a later stage, so I'm not really too worried about the slightly strange colour and some of the J-cloth showing through. The bridge I'm really pleased with. You'll have seen in the time lapse it all come together, measuring up and fitting the wing walls, and then finally, after all of these embankments are done, getting the bridge slotted into place. Underneath I used some plaster ready rocks and an awful lot of the combination of the DCC Concepts brown ballast and a little sprinkle of the Warworld Scenics ballast just to change the colour, and that of course is going to be the stream bed. The The track 2 has been glued down with the PVA, and that's just so we don't have any track pins showing. At the ends, you can just see I've used some of the sleepers and brass chairs, and these are perfect to match up with the bullhead track, and they just give some strength to each end of the track. In terms of ballasting, I've got the Warworld Scenics Extra Fine Dark Grey Ballast, and I think this is a really perfect blend. And you can see there the perfect particle size, and as this is a real stone product, it's going to go on there really, really well. I'm going to be applying it using this little tool from Prozis, and this is actually just quite a handy way to get the ballasting done. You just fill it up and slide it along the rails. When it comes to gluing everything down, I'm going to be using Ballast Bond from Deluxe Materials. This is a ready-mix liquid adhesive, and you can use watered down PVA, but actually this, I had it to hand left over from doing Great Model Railway Challenge, so I thought I would make really great use of it. With the track ballasted and left to dry overnight, it's really starting to look pretty good. I've also given a quick coat of Humbrol number 173 to the sides of the rails, and that's just giving them that kind of slightly rusty look. Now we're on to the last major step on this build, and that's creating the vegetation for the embankment sides. And this is where it will really start to come alive. I've got an assortment of different products here, primarily from the Warworld Scenics range, and I'm going to start building this up using the static grass applicator as well to get a really great three-dimensional effect to the grass. And once everything's dry, that's when the real fun begins, and we take it outside into the natural environment for some great photographs. Well, I hope you really enjoyed today's video as much as I enjoyed making it. It's a great little project, and certainly it's something that you too could have a go at yourself. Either if you want a small diorama, a tiny little shunting layout, or even transfer some of the things that we've done today to your own full layout. It really couldn't be simpler, and certainly there's no secret techniques in any of what I've done today. It's quite simply the only thing that you need is confidence in yourself. And really, if you've got that confidence in your own abilities, then there's nothing that you can't achieve model-wise. So certainly give it a go today. Please tickle that like button. Also share the video too on social media. It's really important to keep the channel growing. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and tickle that notification bell to be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. You can also head on over to Rails of Sheffield and order with confidence the forthcoming Monday Club wagon, and this is a special commission from KR Models, one of their all new announced PAL bricks in a custom exclusive livery. They are selling fast and sure to be incredibly collectible into the future, so grab one today and don't delay. You can also help us out over on Patreon if you want to support the channel to keep making the videos that you want to see, with a number of different tiers of rewards. There's something to suit everybody's pocket. But until next time, this is me, Johnny Kirk, saying you take great care of yourself and super happy modelling. And I'd love to hear from you in the comments and hear about what projects you've got on the boil for model railways. Until next time, take care. Bye for now. Today's video comes in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Support also comes from TMC, the Model Centre. Check out their comprehensive and fully stocked website at themodelcentre.com. For project ideas, why not look at their airbrush offers at the link in the description and have a go at creating your own weathering and graffiti masterpieces. It couldn't be simpler. I'd like to send out a huge thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Offshore Allen, Michael Lockie, Helen Sink, Gary Lewis, David Quinn, Sparky107107, George Botterini, Chris Moss, Robert Steers, Sam Yates, Dale Williams, John N from NC, NYMR-ish, Jonathan Foster, Peter, Clifford Ison, Larry W. Grant, NI Railways 4000 class, Ian Coulson, Alan Dickerson, Eddie Papere, Karen Nichol, Medwin Williams, Crossways Point Junction, 3B Rail, and Jennifer Garrett. Thank you. Without you guys, I couldn't do this.